so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching Imani Television. This is your #1 TV station that builds your faith in Jesus Christ. Welcome once again to our program, Health, Hygiene and Wellness. This is a program that keeps you updated and even on toes on matters health, hygiene and wellness as well. Today in our program, I'm hosting Dr. Jane. Karibu sana daktari ndani ya kipindi leo. We'll be discussing on ways of preventing the non-communicable diseases, commonly known as NCDs. And without much more time or wasting time, we'll just dive in straight away to find out whatever Dr. Jane has prepared for us. Karibu sana daktari. Maybe if you can just begin from here. What are NCDs? Maybe someone is watching us and he or she doesn't understand what non-communicable diseases are. Maybe you can just briefly explain to them what NCDs are.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for hosting me. I'm Jane Aluodo Osiru. That is an Afia person. And today I said we are going, the way you have said,
yes,
we are going to discuss the communicable and non-communicable diseases. And you have come with your question or a question on NCDs,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes.
NCDs, those are non-communicable diseases. And the way it just expresses itself, it means these are diseases which cannot be acquired from someone else. It cannot be moved from one person to another person. So what does it imply? It is specifically the personal, let me say, diseases. They are only generated by yourself or the body system. And that means if that is the case, they cannot be removed, or they are within yourself. And when they are within yourself, it is because of the body functionality, not necessarily because of the germs. Yes.
So we can say that they are non-contagious and non-transmitted.
They can be contagious, but they are
non-transmitted.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Now, what are the examples of these diseases, maybe when we talk about them, non-communicable?
I think before we go there, it's good to understand, because we are talking about health.
Yes.
We must get to know why are we talking about health when it comes to non-communicable diseases.
Yes.
And we must know what is health for us also to understand, are we healthy or not? Do we have communicable or non-communicable diseases? So I may say that we must be healthy. And by being healthy,
yes,
or the definition of health, a person being healthy, that is a person who is mentally, physically, and emotionally well. And we add spiritual well-being. That is a person who is in a state of complete health.
So spirituality also lies within.
Exactly. Because why do we say spirituality also lies in there? Because if we can just think about an event which has been on, the Shakahola event.
Yes.
What is it? It is specifically implied in what? In spiritual.
Yes.
Because when people don't get the spiritual nourishment and the right direction to follow, we will end up perishing. And remember, God said, my people are perishing because of lack of what?
Wisdom.
And knowledge. Yes.
So that is a healthy person. Must be straight both mentally, physically, and emotionally as well.
Yes. The mind must be okay. The physical aspect, you must be okay physically.
Now, when do we say that a person is unhealthy now?
The person is unhealthy if any of those deviations are in him. Or
either emotionally, physically.
Yes. Anyone missing in you, it gives you a state of unhealthiness. Yes.
I would like us to begin with the non-communicable diseases. Then we'll, in the second half, we'll discuss about the communicable diseases.
Very good.
Now, in this first half, about the non-communicable diseases, how exactly do they affect someone?
Remember I said non-communicable diseases, those are intrusive diseases, or diseases that we get through our body malfunctionality. If our body doesn't function well, sometimes immune inakuwa compromised.
Yes.
Our immune may be compromised, or sometimes the body maybe itself with an experience of something that is not right, it will develop its own mechanism of working. And that's where you get, let's take an example of cancer. What causes cancer is degeneration of some of the cells. Let's say some of the, if that is the cause. And that means that in one way or another, the body could not comprehend the normal functionality. And because of that, it invented its own way of functioning. And that's why you get an excess maybe of production. What about diabetes? An excess of the sugar. Maybe the body is not able to absorb the sugars or the lactose that we eat, the carbohydrates. The body is not able to synthesize, absorb all of them. And that's why we get the excess of it causes the body now malfunction. Yeah.
Now, can we dive straight to how to prevent them?
First, before we prevent them, it's good to know which kind of diseases are these. Sometimes people say non-communicable diseases, and they even don't know which diseases are these. First, we have the common one, a song for everyone, which is cancer. That is number one, and it is a killer disease. We go to diabetes, which is also nowadays very common.
Yes.
And that is because of a healthy diet, eating practices, and maybe with some other underlying maybe health effects.
Yes.
And then we have arthritis, of which sometimes nowadays you just feel or you hear someone complaining, I have arthritis. Long ago, we used to know these were diseases with specific individuals.
Yes.
Like diabetes, we knew it was a disease for the rich because of the diet they were eating.
They were, yes.
And nowadays, you see something like that, it can even affect the children. So it is something that is emerging. It has been there, yes, but now it is emerging on the higher level. And then we have arthritis. We rarely used to have arthritis long time ago.
Yes.
And nowadays it is a common practice to every age. Arthritis was associated with the age, of which we know by age, maybe the body functionality may not be to that standard which is required.
Yes.
Because of the lowered immunity. But as we speak, everyone, even the people you may seem to see them healthy, they will complain they're suffering from
Arthritis.
And now you wonder why. And that is why we are saying the practices, the healthy practices that we undertake. Those are some of the common, and we have others. Asthma, asthmatic. Those are some of the non-communicable diseases.
Looking at these diseases, you'll find maybe it's just a trend between them, that maybe they're associated with the lifestyle that people live. Is it, can we conclude that?
Very true. Because they are also known as lifestyle
diseases.
The way you live is the way they will affect you.
Hypertension is among them as well.
Yes. Your exposure is what will bring the infection. And the way we say, or why we say it is a lifestyle
Yes.
infection, it is the way we conduct ourselves. Because if we start with, why do we get it? We have said it is a body malfunctionality.
Yes.
And the reason why we get them sometimes, it is when we say lifestyle, is the way we live.
Our daily routine.
Living.
Yes.
Our daily activities, our daily dietary intake, what we do with our bodies, what we do with ourselves and the health.
Yes.
Number one, if we don't get or eat a dietary that is good, or if we don't get a nutrition food, a food that is full of all the nutrients, that are required,
Yes.
of course we are going to suffer from other dietary diseases, which are almost the same, similar to the diabetes and hypertension and so forth. So we are saying diet is very key.
Yes.
In non-communicable diseases. Watch on what you eat. Because sometimes people eat, let me take an example of chips.
Fries.
Yes. And people love chips, isn't it?
Yes.
Someone may take it in the morning, afternoon, and whatever. And they feel happy. They have taken a very good meal.
Yes.
But in the essence, what have you taken? Carbohydrates, isn't it? And for you to be healthy, you must take all the dietary food, the protective food, bodybuilding, energy.
Yes.
And nutrients or minerals. But you now see you have just measured on one, which is carbohydrate.
And maybe fats.
And fats.
Yes.
Now the body is going to lack the protecting and also the body building. So it means there will be accumulation of more of that fats and carbohydrates. And then now we get the blood vessels get so much compressed because that layer, as we take more fats, they go and deposit at the blood
vessels.
vessels. That's why they thin. At the same time, now pumping becomes a
Difficult.
problem.
And now the pressure
Comes
increases.
in. Yes. Number 2, we don't do exercise. You know, once we exercise, what are we doing? We are giving body flexibility. It becomes active.
Now these are the preventive measures now.
Fine, it is a preventive measure, but at the same time is a causative measure. If we don't do it, because in most cases we don't. Once you are seated somewhere, that is the end. And remember, you are eating all the balanced diet, you are taking all the meals that are required. But now the body is not being active.
Yes.
How do you activate the body so that it can also activate the fully absorption and assimilation of the food that you have ate?
Yes.
That is through the physical activity. Once you do the physical activity, the body will be active. And when the body is active, that means every part, the cells and the mind, everything is
functioning and is active.
functioning
Yes.
well. And that will give very good absorption in the body. Metabolic reactions will be okay. For once, we will be sweating sometimes, isn't it? And once we sweat, what are we doing? We are eliminating the toxic substances that may have deposited in our epidermis.
Yes.
That is under the skin.
Yes.
We will be removing those toxins from our body. Yes.
Now, can we talk about now the prevention of these non-communicable diseases?
Yes, and I have not completed about non-communicable diseases.
Go on.
We have one also which can be caused by addiction. By addiction, what do I mean? You are so much taking intake of something or food in an excess of what is required, what the body requires. Let's take an example of smoking.
Yes.
This is a common practice. What happens with smoking? When there is too much smoking, it is associated with what? And that has been scientifically proven sometimes. It is associated with the cancer of the lungs.
Yes.
And we see that the more you expose yourself to smoking, the more you are endangering or exposing yourself to some non-communicable diseases like cancer.
Yes.
And also drinking. What happens when you take too much of alcohol?
Yes.
One will end up getting liver cirrhosis. And when you get liver cirrhosis, it means what? Your liver cannot now function normally. Because inakaa ni kama imepikwa huko ndani. And once it gets to that state, you have already distorted it is normal functionality. You may distort. So you end up getting the liver cirrhosis and other liver-related diseases. And that is how addiction also leads to non-communicable diseases.
Daktari, can we just take a short break, then we'll be back. We'll be speaking about the preventive measures for both the non-communicable and communicable diseases. So stay tuned, don't go too far.
Thank you.